Let's keep things moving here on the program. We're joined by a young lady. As a matter of fact, she plays the role of Sally on one of my favorite programs, The Young and the Restless. She's played on so many other different things. And did you know that she's also a character in a couple of video games? I want to talk with her about that. She's also our celebrity guest picker for today. She is Courtney Hope. She joins us here on the program. What's going on, Courtney?
Hi, I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely glad to have you. I can start with the video game piece, right? Like, so I kind of get it. I was in a video game at one point, a sports video game, right? So now, Quantum Break, you played Beth Wilder. What? Tell us about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was the first video game I did, so I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know what the experience was going to be like. It took about 2 years to film it, and we would just shoot it in increments. And I flew to Finland. I shot it here in Santa Monica. I'm in Los Angeles, so in Santa Monica. And yeah, it was great. It was a totally new experience because on screen, you do kind of everything at once, but in the video game world, or at least in that experience for sure. But in my other ones, I've done this too, where you do mocap and then you do facial capture and then you do voiceover. So sometimes like some of the scenes I'd be doing 3 times. So it was just a totally new experience. And also like on soap operas, they're very, dramatic and very emotional. And in video games, like if you have a facial capture, you can't have a teardrop because it messes up the like how it scans your face. So it was actually like a huge challenge, but in a good way. I loved it. And I love the video game world. They're all amazing.
Yeah, because you did 2 others. I have you played Jesse Faden in the video game series Control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one we shot, it just came out a couple years ago. It did really well. It was Remedy's first female lead game, and so I was very honored to be Jesse Faden in that. And we have a second one hopefully coming, in the next few years, because obviously it takes a while. But yeah, it's super exciting. I love the world. And then I got to play a little Jedi in a Star Wars one too, which was fun. It was random but fun.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you play the game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I honestly am not great at combat, so I always have to do like the easy combat. But yeah, I definitely played the game. When I played Control, I played it with a couple people, and we would like switch off, and it was kind of interesting too, because in Control I was in the whole game basically, and so I shot so much of it that it was cool to have certain moments where it didn't feel like me. Like I felt like I was actually playing as if it wasn't me. And I think I really give that, I attribute that to Remedy, the company that did it. They just made the world so immersive that even me who shot it felt like I was in something completely new. So that was a really great experience.
Yeah, that's really cool. Courtney Hope joining us here on the program. Of course, she plays the role of Sally Spectra in The Young and the Restless. So Sally's sort of in this dynamic between Nick and Adam right now. I started really rewatching it more regularly, maybe about, I don't know, it's been maybe 3 or 4 months now, I guess. So like, tell us about Sally a little bit, and then this dynamic with Nick and Adam, who are brothers on The Young and the Restless.
Yeah, she loves the more difficult relationship has to go with the brothers. Yeah, Sally's always, this has been an interesting experience for me to play with Sally, because Sally has always been very career driven. She was a fashion designer for so long. And then when, she moved to Genoa City, she did that for a while, and then that kind of fell through. And she's always kind of had one person, or she's been toying with, like, she's with a guy, but then that guy's with another girl, right? It's always another girl that's in play. And so for her to have this dynamic, I think she's really struggling with, her true, honest self, like who she is at the core, but then also what she wants. She didn't have a stable home life. And so to have like Nick, who has this stability and has, this maturity, she's drawn to that. But then, you know, she's also got that feistiness, the fire, the kind of, you know, flies by the seat of her pants and doesn't, you know, walk with the herd. And that, I think, is in Adam. And so it's this, you know, push and pull between where she really wants to go in her life, but her heart, you know, is in two different places.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting, I didn't know this actually before preparing for this, that Sally was in The Bold and the Beautiful. Like I didn't know that. They're like sort of like sister shows for those that may not know. Speak to carrying, you know, sort of that over from The Bold and that character, Sally, over from The Bold and the Beautiful to now The Young and the Restless.
Yeah, it's been a really fun journey. You know, the writers are you know, each show has taken her and brought something new out of her. And I've really tried to hold on to who she was on Bold over here, you know, on Young and the Restless as well. But, you know, she's going through different experiences. She's getting older, and it's been cool to see the Young and the Restless's take on Sally, you know, as when I was on Bold, it was, like I said, very career, very like, you know, also very naive. You know, Sally came, I think when I started the show, they had Sally around like 26, 27 years old, you know, and that was 7 years ago. So, you know, you would hope in life people grow and evolve. And so it's kind of been fun to see the snowball effect of like what the Young and the Restless has created for Sally. And it's just been a blast to play, but I'm excited to see where she goes from here, because I feel like she's definitely at a crossroads.
Yeah. Talk about the cast. Like I remember, and I was, you know, you talk about all of these different, I'm just trying to think back to Miss Chancellor from back in the day. Is it Jean Cooper who played that role, and all of the different, you know, Neil Winters, Christophe St. John, who rest in peace to him. But speak to the current cast and playing, you know, with this very talented Young and the Restless cast.
Oh, it's been an amazing experience. Everybody on the show is incredible. I felt that way even before I was ever on the show, when I would just watch the show or see them in the hallways when I was on Bold. And I would just think, I just really respect everybody on the show. I feel like they're solid actors, solid human beings. And, you know, they take their craft really seriously and they put the work in. And I'm always, you know, I sit in my room a lot and I'll watch the screen when other people are shooting. And I just love to see what people do. You know, it still blows my mind that we shoot so much. We get so much dialogue, these in-depth storylines, and every day they come in and, you know, it's something new and it's fresh and there's so many layers and so much, you know, dynamism to it. And I love watching it from my dressing room. I'm inspired by it. And, yeah, I'm just really grateful to be on the show.
No doubt. Long time. You know, Peter Bergman, Eric Braeden. I mean, been on the show, yes, you know, certainly forever. You know, learning the lines, like how is that? Because it's a daily show, right? So unlike if you're doing something that's a movie, which you've done some movies before, and, you know, some other TV acting that you've done. Can you kind of speak to that aspect? I guess you have to really sort of really be in character in some respects.
Oh yeah, you absolutely do. I mean, you can't really fall short in, especially on a soap. You know, you really have to know your stuff, and I always look at my stuff as early as I can, because I love to be able to create nuances to it. But I know everyone works so differently. But yeah, you can't really just half-ass it, you know. You definitely have to know what you're doing and take the time to really dive in, because yeah, sometimes you have, I mean, 2-page monologues, you know, and we move so fast, and it's not just about, you know, my storyline, it's everyone else's storyline, and it's the crew that's there, and, you know, they've been there since, you know, some of them 6 a.m. and, you know, so when you're out there running your stuff, it's like I personally don't want to go out there and do, you know, 7 takes if I don't have to, because it's also impeding on their time. And so it's a, you know, a workhorse of a show where everyone just, you know, kind of plays in, but what one person does really doesn't just, you know, affect one person. It affects the whole encompassing project. So yeah, but it's been good. You know, they always say it's what do people say? They say it's like a boot camp for actors, and it totally is. You walk in, and I was so nervous my first week on Bold, because I was like, Oh my gosh, this is a lot. And but it actually I found that I actually it wasn't that bad. Like I think I had a couple weeks where I was nervous. And even when I went on Young and the Restless, I was nervous. You know, it's a different show. They're different people. Even though my character, you know, was known, it was still a new dynamic. And but yeah, it's been great. By the way, my dogs are barking outside, so I apologize.
No, it's all good. Not a problem. Courtney Hope. Yeah. Courtney Hope joining us here on the program. So it would seem to me that it would make it perhaps a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but maybe when you're having to do like a movie or you know, sort of learn your lines for a movie or a TV show.
Oh yeah, it's completely different. Like, you know, doing a show or a movie, a lot of times you'll do like any of the shows I've done. I think the most I've done is like maybe 2 really big scenes, 3 big scenes a day. Now, granted, a lot of that was like guest work, but if I was doing, you know, a series regular or a movie, even you're working, like you said, like in shorter increments. So it's like we do a scene and then it's like you do the, you know, the wide shot and then the close up and then the over the shoulder and then and so it does give you a little bit more room to play. But I found from here going to do other things, it's been a huge blessing because I have a bigger playground because I'm so used to just being ready on the first take that any of the other stuff I do, it's like, I don't know, it is kind of like I get more to play with because I'm like already ready on the first one. And so, yeah, I'm doing the games. It's been the same way because games move pretty quick. So I've been able to kind of take that template and apply it there.
Courtney Hope plays the role of Sally Spectra on The Young and the Restless. She joins us here on the program. She's our celebrity guest picker. We're going to talk about that. I know she's not. I know you're not a big sports fan, but that's okay. It's all in fun. And I
like sports. I just don't follow like the specific teams. I'm from Texas, so yes. My family, they are huge, like Longhorns, Cowboys. My dad's also from Michigan, so we got the Lions and U of M, and so I know about it. But I'm excited to pick.
No doubt about it. And we're definitely gonna get to that. We got 6 games for her to pick today. Nominated for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series is a big deal because there's so many different, you know, drama series to kind of pick from. What did that mean to you?
Oh, it meant the world to me. It meant so much. I mean, on every single show, the caliber of talent is just insurmountable, and to be picked amongst, you know, all of the other amazing women, but you know, people in general was huge. And I feel also too, like, you know, I had been through a big storyline on that show, and you know, and then I had left the show, so I actually got nominated for Bold when I was on Young and the Restless, and so it kind of was, you know, bittersweet in a lot of ways. I was super excited about it, you know, but it was funny just being, you know, it was kind of like, I don't know, like the closing of that chapter, you know. I was like, oh, it was nice to be recognized for my time on that show, you know. Yeah.
So, you know, I want to ask you about A Merry Christmas Match that you did, the movie, right? Like Christmas is right upon us. Are you going to do any future Christmas movies? Matter of fact, with respect to Hallmark, Lifetime, like what's the other channel? It's another channel that carries a bunch of Christmas. I love watching those Christmas movies. Are you going to do any of those in the future?
I would love to. They're fun. You know, I'm up for just telling whatever great stories are out there. So that one was fun. It was also fun to play in that one. I was like this rich, snooty girl, and that was really fun to play. You know, I feel like I've done a lot of like the down to earth, so it's always kind of fun to push the envelope a little bit. But yeah, I would love to.
Absolutely. All right, Courtney, we're gonna get to it. You're our celebrity guest picker. Okay. We've got 6 games for you. We're gonna start with Alabama A&M versus Alabama State. This game is in Birmingham. It's the Magic City Classic. They'll have 70,000 fans on the inside watching the game, another 25,000 on the outside. Who you got?
I said Alabama A&M.
Okay. All right. I know you had a couple of notes. Any particular reason why? You don't have to. It's fine.
Well, I just was, when I was looking at like who was ahead, you know, like who had the most wins, they kind of were they kind of were, on the top of the list, at the top of the list, I should say. So that was my reasoning.
Okay, no, very cool. Prairie View A&M at Florida A&M.
I picked Florida at A&M, and I have had a couple friends that we almost moved to Florida, and I had some friends that are from Florida, so it was kind of like a nod. And in addition to that, I don't know. Again, I was looking at their stats, and I just feel like I'm one that's like, okay, let's see who's doing what this year, because I do know, I've followed a lot of football, and like, it's like some years, I had a friend that was a huge Cardinals fan, right? And it was like for years and years and years, like they just weren't doing well. And like, and then all of a sudden they were, Kyler Murray, right before Kyler Murray, I love Larry Fitzgerald, but like, going on in that arena and knowing that they were, doing well, and then all of a sudden they weren't. And so anyway, I kind of look at the year's stats because the players rotate so much.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we have I think this is a top 10 matchup, a college football, Oregon, or staying with college football, Oregon at Utah.
I went with Oregon. I was just in Oregon this weekend, and so I kind of felt like it made sense to do that. They're also number 8, and I know that Utah is number 13. So
yes, there you go. Okay, very good. So we had to take it home. I believe now you're from Dallas.
I'm from Dallas. Yeah. So he said SMU. I'm like, oh, I know where that is.
Yes, that's why I had to go, because I would have gone with the Texas game, but I said, let me be more specific since you're in Dallas. Tulsa at SMU.
Yeah, I went with SMU. Obviously, I'm from Dallas, and I was like, I gotta stay true.
All right, very good. Okay, National Football League.
Yes.
Staying at home, Rams at the Cowboys.
I'm going to go with Cowboys. I am not a huge Rams fan. I don't know why. I've been to a couple of their games here, and I love the Cowboys. And I actually used to be a junior Dallas Cowboy cheerleader when I was younger, so I performed at some of their games. So I'm going to say the Cowboys. Yeah,
that's cool. I mean, I unfortunately, well, for you, I'm a Commanders fan, right? So we, the whole former Redskins and Cowboys thing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, I get it. It's okay.
Yeah. And we'll see. I don't know. Like the Commanders are like letting me down right now. Like losing to the Giants last week, a couple of weeks ago, losing to the Bears, who at the time were like the worst team in the league,
That's unfortunate. That's the thing is like you see some years and they're so like, I always go to my family's house and they love to watch football, obviously. And it's like you get some years where, my dad's been a Detroit Lions fan forever. And I'm like, he's tried and true. I'm like, he's not a fair weather because they are not great, or they're better now. But, for years they were awful. And it's just so funny. You get I don't know. I guess because I've just been around so many teams that lose so much that when people are like, "Oh, my team's winning," and now they're not, it's like it is funny to watch it. But I'm sorry about your team.
Yeah, I know. And but we still have we still got to meet. Cowboys and Commanders still got 2 games, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, our last games, which is a good one. The Steelers. Both teams are playing well. The Steelers at the Jaguars.
So this is funny because I've always been drawn to the Steelers. I know that I think they played one less game, right, than the Jaguars. Yeah. But I'm going to go with the Steelers to see if maybe they can obviously tie their 5-2, but if not, obviously then it'll be different. But I don't know. I'm going to go with the Steelers. I'm going to go with the Steelers. I'm just going to get for reason. I went with my intuition on all of it, minus the Cowboys. I was like, I'm just going to stick with them. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Okay, very good. So last thought. I know you. Well, 2 last thoughts. So I know you do, especially on your Instagram, you do like the fitness videos, right? So are you into training and all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I taught fitness for a little over 10 years. I grew up as a dancer, and then I started teaching cardio bar when I was around 21, 22 years old, and then got certified in that and in Pilates and in personal training. And I love it so much. It's like I go to the gym or I work out and do some sort of movement every day. And I'm always like learning and growing. And it's like my home away from home. When I am sitting still and can't move, I go crazy. I love it so much. And I love teaching. I really do.
Very good. And then lastly, I find it interesting when you're playing your role of Sally on The Young and the Restless. It's very busy. You got to learn your lines, but you're also able to do other projects, which I find absolutely fascinating. Do you have any other projects, movies, TV, etc., on the horizon?
There's some stuff in the game world. I can't fully talk about it, but the gaming world. And then everything right now, I've been very honored since I've been on the show to be working a lot. Not really have, and we only get, I don't know, I'd say we work 48 weeks out of the year. Don't quote me on that, but around there. And so I've been very blessed since I've been on the show to be working all the time. So this has been like the biggest, kind of breath that I've had. So now I'm able to go tap out and do some other things as well. So hopefully, I know we're all on strike right now, so nothing's really, going as far as like movies and TV goes. But yeah, there is some stuff, but we'll have to see in the next coming year or so what happens.
No question about it. Courtney Hope, you can check her out each weekday on the number one daytime drama, The Young and the Restless. Check your local listings. Of course, she plays the role of Sally Spectra. Courtney Hope, again, joining us here on the program. Courtney, appreciate the time. Thank you for being our celebrity guest picker. Continued success in all you do.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And yeah, good luck with the games this weekend. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely.